Stories of Great Christians. From its radio studios in Chicago, the Moody Bible Institute greets its friends everywhere with Chapter 8 of Francis Asbury, the transcribed story of the Circuit Riders. After 43 days at sea, Francis Asbury and Richard Wright arrived in Philadelphia and immediately began their missionary work in the colonies. Along with expanding American frontiers, revolutionary activity was increasing among the colonists, and a heady sense of independence filled the air. The two young Englishmen had come to a strange land, and there was no one to greet them. So this is Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love.
Yes, and obviously no one is here to meet us. Of course, no one could have known the date of our arrival.
Well, Francis, we left England alone, and we arrive in America alone.
Not really, Richard. Have you forgotten the promise of Christ? I will never leave thee nor forsake thee.
Oh, of course. But where do we go from here, and what do we do with our baggage?
Well, to answer your first question, we'll have to try to find St. George's Church. As for the baggage, well, we have only these 2 suitcases. I've carried heavier loads than this on my journeys.
Say, there's a man coming up the wharf. Maybe he can give us some information.
Hello there. Can you help us?
What seems to be the trouble?
We'd like to know how to find St. George's Church. Joseph Pillmore is the pastor there.
I don't know if I can help you. There's a couple of redcoats down a piece. You can ask them.
Can we get a carriage any place? We have these bags and...
You're Britishers, aren't you?
Yes, but...
Well, shouldn't hurt you to walk. Carriages run a little expensive in Philadelphia. But I guess, on the other hand, that shouldn't bother you too much. What with King George collecting all those taxes, you should be rich.
Whew. The city of brotherly love?
Say, look, isn't that an inn I see in the next block?
I think it is.
Well, let's see if we can't get us some lodging for the night. Then we can look for St. George's Church without having to carry this baggage. That was a good word. I feel wonderfully refreshed, Richard.
Yes. It's amazing how a word of prayer and the reading of the Scriptures makes you a different man.
Yes. No, I think I'm going to stretch out for a few minutes.
Go right ahead, Francis. I'll step downstairs for a bite to eat. Perhaps I can get the directions to St. George's.
All right.
Say, what do you have there?
Oh, a book I've been reading.
But I thought you wanted to rest.
I do, but this is a very interesting book, Richard. It's an account of the revivals in New England, written by Jonathan Edwards. You go ahead and get something to eat. I'll be down a bit later. A very forceful message indeed, Brother Pillmore.
Thank you, Mr. Asbury. I wish you'd spoken tonight.
Oh, there'll be time enough for that. My friend and I are rather tired, and besides, I wanted to hear you. I didn't know he had such a strong work going here in Philadelphia.
Well, Captain Webb is pretty much responsible for this work. He's quite a man. A layman, of course, but deeply interested in the things of God. You'll meet him in New York.
Captain Webb, huh?
Yes. Now, brother, we have a meeting tomorrow night. Would you like to preach for us then?
Well, yes, I'd be very happy to.
Good. Later, perhaps, we'll visit some of the other meeting places in the area. We don't have a large circuit as yet, but I can assure you we have some fine people in our fellowship.
Dear friends, I welcome this opportunity to speak to an American audience for the first time. I sincerely trust it will not be the last. My text is familiar to you, I'm sure, taken from Romans, the 8th chapter and verse 32. He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things?
We'll be in Germantown in a few minutes, Mr. Asbury.
Oh, I'm curious, Mr. Pillmore. Is it what the name implies?
Well, in the beginning, it was settled by Germans, whom we've come to call the Pennsylvania Dutch. The name just naturally came about.
I see. Are there many people in America of German descent?
Actually, we're getting people from every European nation. But our German friends have played quite a part in the Methodist movement.
Really? How is that?
Well, whoa there, whoa. Philip Embry, you'll meet him in New York, too, when you go. He was the first missionary in the movement here in America, and his parents were both German.
Oh, is that so?
And my own church in Philadelphia, St. George's, did you know that was once a German Reformed Society?
No, I didn't.
Captain Webb founded it. Started 5 years ago with only 7 members. We now have over 100 families, you know.
Oh, it's wonderful. How long have you been here?
Well, I was working in Wales when I felt led to come here. That'll be 3 years ago.
And you like America?
Very much. This is a new world in so many ways. Aside from the opportunities for preaching the gospel, you feel that you're growing with the country.
I think I'm going to like it, too.
I'm quite sure you will. But, well, it's not really any of my business.
What is it?
No, that's all right.
Oh, something's bothering you. What do you want to say?
I couldn't help thinking about your companion.
Richard Wright?
Yes. I hope the best for him. But I'm wondering, even his refusal to come with us today forebodes some kind of trouble, I fear.
Oh, I think he'll work out. He's easily disconcerted, but I think he'll become more stable as he gets older.
I hope so, Mr. Asbury. Well, let's get going. There's some converts I want you to meet in Germantown. You're sure you both want to make the journey today?
Oh, I think we'd better, Pastor. It'll probably take about 4 or 5 days to get to New York as it is.
Yes, in this weather it'll take all of that. This is the first real snowfall we've had. Your horses in good shape?
I think so.
Well, we've enjoyed having you with us for these 3 weeks. You will be back, I trust.
Yes, we'll be back, Mr. Pillmore.
You'd better stop frequently on your journey. It's getting pretty cold now. There aren't too many settlements between here and New York. And be sure to stop in Burlington. We have a group there, you know.
Well, thank you, Pastor. We'll remember.
Goodbye, and God bless you both.
Goodbye. I think there's nothing like a good hot cup of tea.
Especially on a day like this. Well, it certainly tastes good.
It doesn't look as though that snow is going to let up, does it?
This is probably what they call a nor'easter, huh?
May have to spend the night here.
That's what I was thinking. It isn't exactly what I'd choose, but I don't suppose we have much of a choice.
Say, gents, do you mind if I join you? Oh, you're drinking tea, huh?
Oh, don't let that stop you. Sit down and have some with us.
Yes, please do.
Oh, thanks. Heard you talking about the storm, and this ain't no nor'easter. They're 10 times worse than this. Got caught in a good one up in Vermont once.
Really? Are you on your way to New York?
No, I'm heading for the west, to Ohio. Too crowded here, and some good homesteads opening up out there.
Homestead? Well, what's that?
Well, you stake out a claim for land, and if you're first, it's yours.
And it doesn't cost you anything?
Oh, no, sir. That's why the country's moving west all the time.
Think of it. To get land for nothing.
Have you ever been to Ohio before?
No, but I know what the life is like. Been at it all my life.
Yes? Well, how's that?
Well, you might say I got pioneering in my blood. Can't stay in any one place too long. Got to get moving. Wife's dead now, and children all away with their own families. But I still like to see new things. Like to get my hands in soil nobody else has ever touched.
It must be a weary life.
A weary? Well, maybe. You don't see nobody for months on end, except maybe Indians, and sometimes you don't want to see them. But it's an interesting life just the same. Like I said, there's something about being the first person to live in a place.
I think I know what you mean.
We got three things, America here: cities, villages, and frontier. I can't stand neither the cities nor the villages. Maybe I just don't like people.
Well, tell me, what's all this talk about a revolution?
You're from England, you too, aren't you?
Yes.
That's right.
Thought so. I could tell from the way you talk. All right, you asked me about the revolution, and I'll tell you, I'm just an ordinary man, no education or nothing, just a poor man, except for the land I'm going to get. But look, there are lots of people like me. We're building this country, and we like to feel we're doing it for ourselves, not for some rich folks 3,000-4,000 miles away. That's why we don't like these taxes the British are putting on us, especially when we don't have no say in them.
But you have your assemblies.
Oh, sure, but we don't have anything to say about the laws over there in England. We're not represented in Parliament. We do all the work, and we have to pay for it, too. That's why I think there's going to be a revolution. Lots of us figure we can run our own lives as well as the king and his ministers.
You must have read a great deal about this, huh?
Mister, I just don't know how to read. Books and newspapers don't mean nothing to me, but I got ears, and I talk to people, and there are plenty of folks who think like I do.
Gentlemen, if you will excuse me, I would like to speak with you. The innkeeper tells me you two are preachers.
Preachers? You mean I've been talking to preachers?
He tells me you are on your way to New York. I wonder if you would agree to travel with me tomorrow. You will be staying over at the night.
Well, I suppose we'll have to, what with this weather and all.
I'd hoped you would. I have a reason for asking you to join me. I'd like you to stop at my place and do some preaching. I think we need it.
We'll be glad to do what we can.
Good. Then we will set out tomorrow for New York. And have a bite of breakfast with me before we go, huh? You can ask the innkeeper about me. My name is Peter Van Pelt. I will see you tomorrow, then.
Do you know who that man is?
No, who?
Peter Van Pelt. Why, that man owns the whole of Staten Island.
And so we conclude Chapter 8 of Francis Asbury, the story of the Circuit Riders. We are presenting another in a transcribed series of stories of great Christians which come to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.